It's not what you think. Early intro. Hey, you wonderful weirdos. I'm Pocan Joe, and as always, you're pretty cool for coming by. Appreciate having you here. We're going to jump into the books this week. I have a smaller stack, so this should be kind of interesting. First, we're going to launch off with DC. DC came out with Gold and Blue, or Blue and Gold, as they constantly argue that out in here. Yes, we have Booster Gold, and we have the Blue Beetle, and they're bringing back that kind of friendship relationship they had from Heroes in Crisis, if you remember that. And I think there was even a story arc before that. Anyway, they're best buds in here. So much so that all reality just fades around them. Like, you wish you had a friendship like this. In this one, Booster Gold's got to go save the Justice League because some aliens captured them. Calls up his friend the Blue Beetle. He pops in there. They get in there. They save it. And then Booster Gold takes off with Shazam. And then, Justice League's like, hey, Blue Beetle, do you want to be in the Justice League? And he's like, no, what about my buddy? And they're like, yeah, no, we're talking to you. And he's like, nah, I want to hang out with my bud. Right? That whole heroes, or no, what was it? It was bros before heroes type attitude going on in here. And it's funny, it's whimsical. I'm sure it's going to get strained. But I'm liking this. This is funny dialogue. It's funny situational stuff. Snappy comebacks. Witty dialogue in it. And I really enjoyed this. So I recommend this. This is just a fun read overall. Coming right out into Shazam. So Billy Batson, Shazam, he's in the Titans Academy. And he's been having some problems with his powers. Apparently a lot of the kids there didn't know that he was Shazam. They realized that in here. But he's having some fizzling problems with his superpowers. They keep shutting down. He can't find the wizard to help fix it. One of his stepbrothers or foster brothers, I'm not sure how that relationship works, but part of the Shazam family. One of those is dying. That's not cool. But he has these powers too, so what's going on there? Why? So where's the wizard, right? That's what we're trying to figure out in this one. Where is he? How can we get it to work? And we got a little conflict in here too. A little existential threat, if you will. And that really just heightens the story. So all in all, and I love this artwork in here too. Artwork in both of these was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Supergirl. So if you don't know, our character in this one is a young girl. And she's flashbacking this entire story, which unfortunately means tons of offside narration. So you have the dialogue, then you got a narration, and then you got the panel. So you kind of got all the story being crammed into you at once. And to top it all off, our young lady is very excelled in using verbiage. She kind of over-explains everything. For the most part, this is just, it's not very entertaining. You kind of get lost into her over-explanation of everything that is going on in it. It really does kind of take away from everything else. The artwork's very similar to something you would see in a more upper-end manga type of deal for the most part, but I'm not getting behind this story. There's literally an entire page on how to wash your hands because apparently the young girl's never washed her hands after she's used the bathroom. That's something they apparently don't do on their planet. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it just seems like an awkward thing to randomly throw into a comic book. Overall. Alright, next. The Dark Knight. So we kind of find out that Quiz here is not a child. When I reviewed the last issue 2, where she first popped Quiz, right? She popped in there, and I'm like, oh, look at the little girl. She's, like the Riddler's daughter or something. Come find out. No, she just looks super young. Apparently she worked at a bank and kind of helped the Riddler escape, and she's kind of fascinated with the Riddler, right? And the Riddler's just enthralled with her as well. But all in all, this is that finishing up. Well, it's not finishing up. I believe we have one more issue of this, but in this we got the Scarecrow. Of course, he loves his gas attacks. We have our Russian mobster villain character who gets unmasked, and like something else is going on there. If you look at the panels in there, like he's something else other than just a human mobster, if you will. Very interesting. I hope they kind of chase this down a little bit, but we get a long narration from Alfred in here. In this particular series, Alfred's alive, and kind of goes down how nice Bruce Wayne's bed is, and most people his age might appreciate that kind of stuff. While he comes home with a gunshot wound, all cut up, beaten up, and everything else. So most of this has been really good. It's very classic comic book storytelling. It has its moments where it's like, that's kind of funny. And then it has great action scenes in it, and then just kind of fizzles out for a few minutes, and it picks right back up. So definitely a roller coaster. Next. Oh, I liked this. So we have Infinite Destinies with Thor Annual #1. Again, this takes place at the 1-year anniversary of War of the Realms. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, I loved War of the Realms. I thought that was very innovative, very creative storytelling. Maybe not all of it, right? Because some of the tie-ins were like, oh, you're just trying to shoehorn in these weird characters that don't belong, whatever. Some cool things came out of it, like Punisher and his Savage Avenger crew. That was pretty cool. But it was a great way to kind of mix, the mystic, fantasy realm in with comic book hero playing. Anyway, we kind of pick up here with an elfin village or world. I'm going to go with world. They take care of a particular tree that's very important, but it's been infected by Valg? I'm not sure how to say the name. It's the first time I've seen it, and I haven't heard anybody else say it yet either. That's the problem with getting your videos out too quickly. You don't really... there's no consensus on how to pronounce somebody's name that's spelled weird. But anyway... So the whole purpose of this particular being is it feeds off of chaos and violence, and it's just been getting its fill here lately. Even makes a negative of Thor. Like, what would happen if Thor was more like his great-grandfather, Borkin? Borkin. Giggity. Anyway, who was a much violent person than Odin. So and then they kind of tussled it up a little bit, had a little battle in there, gets kicked back, it shoots back out into space someplace, but it's not the last we heard of it, and there's more of his kind. Interesting. Also in the back here, we get that Darkhawk character, or Nighthawk, the knockoff Batman from Reborn. He's in here. And he kind of, he tells Nick Fury a story and about how his reality was better than the reality that he's living in, talking about the Reborn set. So we're kind of launching off here on two epic story tales. How long will they take to tell or come back around? I don't know, but this is going to be two major events that are happening soon. Will they go anywhere? Will it be worth anything? I don't speculate. That's going to be on you. So definitely pick this up and take a read. First appearance of a character. You always got that. Okay, so Moon Knight #1 comes out. Now, you were going to have to get through an entire reintroduction of who Moon Knight is. We've got the show coming out, right? He hasn't been around a whole lot. The last time he was out was kind of a convoluted story, more about Khonshu than it was about him. So we kind of do this with, like, the Avengers therapist lady, who kind of understands that sometimes these metas or superheroes kind of have, maybe not cognitive identity disorder or anything like that. That maybe something else is going on. She's kind of chilling out, hanging out with him. Also, first appearance in here of a character by the name of Hunter's Moon. Whereas he's the right hand of Khonshu. This guy might be the left hand of Khonshu. He makes it very clear to Moon Knight at one point when he's in his secret identity as a doctor that, because you don't outrank me in the cult of Khonshu. So he's a member of that cult, and he has some sort of ranking in it. What does that mean at the end of the day? I don't know. That's why we read more of these issues. I'm kind of excited about this. I think this is going to be really cool. We got some cool characters. Technically 2 first appearances in this, by the way. I don't know. So yeah, definitely going to be picking up some more of that. Next, Phage. If you don't know Vegas, he's a symbiote. It's, all these are symbiotes. But everybody's getting the call of carnage, so he goes from his dog form, eats his hunter friend, and then takes on his form to go kill Andy. If you don't know, in the last issue, Andy is the host of Scream. And they want to kill her. Because Carnage is just, I don't know, weirdness is going on. But all these are just leading up to some epic event where Carnage is back on the scene. So he's getting all of his symbiote closest family into his own little hive. And so they can do what they do. Kill everybody. It doesn't sound that interesting. The book was interesting, though. It's a good read. But reviewing it, that's about all you got. This is a pretty common story. Alright, next. Aliens number 5. Hey, if you've been reading this, you know all about that little eco-terrorist mean girl who sticks her nose up in everything. Well, guess what? She's actually the villain in this. Like, legitimately. She kills... She tries to kill, I should say. The dad tried to save the son, even though she loves the son, but we know that there's a xenomorph inside her boyfriend. She's protecting to save it. So we know that there's a queen of all the aliens, and did she infiltrate this young lady, or is she controlling her mentally? There's some connection there. Hopefully next issue tells us that. But this is great. I mean, the pacing in this keeps the story tense, and that's the whole point of it. It's dread and it's tense, just like the movies had it, and this is great. I absolutely love that, and I loved that cover right there. So yeah, Aliens number 5, good stuff. Next, Rabid World. So I read issue 1 of this, and I was like, oh, surprise, it's another zombie story. Right after issue 2, guess what? It's a zombie story. But it's a cool one. Like, I'm not even kidding. So we got survivors out there trying to survive. They decide to go on boats, which is something I've always asked. When I see a zombie movie, I'm like, why don't y'all just get on a boat? There's plenty of places you can dock, get stuff, go back onto the boat, go back out to the water, right? And the guy who's kind of leading the boat cruise here, ex-military, has like crazy military grade weapons on his little sailboat, which I thought was like, I know some guys, so yeah, I could see that, right? And then we get the other half of the story where they're in a secret government lab and they're trying to examine a zombie and figure out why it's working, and they use a lot of local things to me around here. Like they talked about the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel, right? Like that's over here, right? And the zombies coming off of it and trying to jump onto the boat. And it's fun. It's just a fun zombie story. I can't describe it. You have to read it because the dialogue in here actually sounds like people talking the way that you would talk in this kind of situation. Like, there's one scene, they know they're safe because they're way out into the ocean, right? And somebody's like, do you have any alcohol on this thing? Like, I've had a long day. It's just like, yeah, I can see that. Some good stuff in here. Next, last but not least. Okay, so this is the one that people are probably thinking I'm going to get a little salty with. But I'm not. So, Mothers of Madness came out. First off, this is a funny book. There's a lot of humor in here. This takes place in the future. Not like far future either. Not at all. And we have a young lady. Apparently she works in a very misogynistic corporation where apparently guys are allowed to treat people differently and they're allowed to watch porn on their company computer. I thought that was weird. Like, I was like, it's a stretch, right? But it's a comic book. You have to kind of make things extreme to set a story. If you don't know our heroine in here, she gets superpowers when she's on her cycle, her menstrual cycle. I don't know why I felt like I had to clarify that. It's always odd reviewing these kind of books. It really, because I feel like no matter what I say, I'm just going to get hate comments and thumbs down. And I actually enjoyed this. Yeah, it was a little heavy-handed, especially in the beginning where, a lady's on her cycle and she gets a spot on her nice white dress and everybody's like, ugh. I don't ever remember. I mean, I grew up in a house full of women. I live in a house full of women. I have a daughter, I have a wife. When these things kind of happen, and they do happen, it was always, hey, discreetly, we didn't like turn our nose up at anybody. It's weird. But I get it. You got to push a narrative in a story. You're pushing it. I did think they broke the fourth wall just a little too much. There's these constant flashbacks where it's being narrated to you, and they're kind of breaking the fourth wall with the Mean Girl smug and the artwork. And I was like, well, I didn't really need that. But okay, maybe they're just trying to add a character, a personality to the character. And I thought they did that pretty good. So for the most part, I really can't trash this. I laughed. I thought it was great. Superpowers are generic. You've seen them all before. But then again, what are new superpowers, really, at this point in time? So for the most part, I didn't hate it. I'm not getting this big, like I hear people talk before the book was released, which drives me crazy. It's a woman empowerment story. I didn't really get that. Except for maybe working in a place full of men that are misogynistic, I guess. I'm not really sure. So I saw it for what it was. It's a parody of superheroes. And for that, I enjoyed it. So yeah, I may, if my comic book store has issue 2, I'll pick up issue 2 of this. It wasn't that bad. Alright guys, that's my haul and review. Keep your eyes open. We're waiting one more day, and the rain should be nice and dry, and we're going to take the boom boom arrows out, and we're going to light it up. And it's going to be, I was able to complete 2. I might try to make another one tonight. I don't know. We'll see. So definitely hit that notification bell, because as soon as I get that thing edited, I am launching it out there for everybody, because I'm really excited about this particular project. And also, August project, thank you, Ms. So, for the idea of Thor's hammer. So, of course, I'm going to put my own little twist on it. We're not going to make it out of metal. We're actually going to make this out of bedrock. It's going to be fun. It's going to be engaging. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. Also, Small Town Collectibles. He's pushing for 1,000 subs, and he's got a bunch of his friends out there helping promoting them. And I was just like, it's really cool. It's a really good show. Definitely check it out. Small Town Collectibles. He's pushing for 1,000 subs, and apparently he's got a crazy giveaway. I am more than happy to just watching this show. Like, there's some legitimate, you kind of know what's coming out. He reads a synopsis of the stuff. It's very unbiased and unopinionated, which allows me to say, oh, okay, maybe I should keep my eyes open for this. I really enjoy his stuff. He's not as quirky as I am, and that's probably a good thing. So definitely look in the description below. I'm going to put his link down there. Definitely go check out his channel. If you like that kind of what's going on in the comic book world. Plus, he gets interviews with like great YouTubers. He just did one with Comic Tom 101 and various people in the community as well. So here's good luck. I hope you get your 1,000 subscribers lickety split and have fun with your giveaway. All right, guys, I got nothing. Oh, I do. I'm sorry. I'm promoting all this other stuff. Don't forget, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on the YouTubes, we got Blaster Stash It. Myself, Huey, Spectacular Spider Grandpa, a couple of middle-aged guys. We're going to bring these comic books and a few more, and we're going to talk about them. So if you read any of this stuff and you want to participate, we got a chat you can sit in, and you can join in with us, and we can just talk comic books for about an hour while I'm drinking beer. Yeah. Okay. I really have nothing now. All right, guys. Take it easy. Bye.